Let me be frank. I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna say in this video. It's the anniversary of Halo 3, one of my favorite games. One of the games I have arguably the most nostalgia for, of any game that I've ever played. I hold the game in extremely high regard, and I do think that it stands the test of time. It's a product of its time, but it also stands the test of time. The game is 16 years old now, and I keep reading that, and I still don't believe it, because it feels like I got the game just yesterday. It's really a wild thing, honestly, because the game holds up incredibly well. I think one of the first things that drew me into Halo to begin with was just how cool everything was. I remember back in the day, years and years ago, my first exposure to Halo was Combat Evolved on the PC because my cousin showed me him playing some of it, and I thought the game looked really cool, and then years later on he would show me YouTube videos, machinimas, of Halo 3, and I became enraptured with it. I remember, because it was my first video I've ever seen on this site. It was a song called In the Life of a Noob. It was these two people talking and singing about matchmaking and then being good or bad at it. And it was just a bunch of people having fun. And that's the beautiful thing about Halo 3. Back in the day, when you remember those times, and if you were there, it was just fun. From top to bottom, if you were in the game playing it, you were having fun. If you were outside of it interacting and talking about the game, you were having fun. It seemed like one of those games that supplied an infinite amount of content just by existing, because the community wildfire that surged around this game blazed with a life few other games have ever seen. It's truly something incredibly special. And you can argue it's nostalgia all you want, but in my opinion, the game itself is composed of a few key aspects that make it so beloved and resonated with so many people. And I think the gameplay is a big factor of that. The gameplay is very straightforward and simplistic. It's all about map control, understanding the locations and maps to your advantage, as well as the weapon sandbox. The weapon sandbox isn't balanced, it's not meant to be. Some weapons are designed to be better than others because that encourages map control. It encourages learning the weapon spawns on the map so that you can go and pursue them to get yourself a little bit of a leg up on the competition. It wasn't about crazy movement or any of that. It was about pure, simple, arcadey, arena-based fun. Every match had a story all of its own. Who got the power weapons? Where did you camp or did you not camp? What sick play did you pull off? You can utilize theater mode after the fact to go back and record it and make some sick edits. Who remembers those MLG Pro edits? Yeah, they became a bit of a meme, but they were just fun. People showing off key little moments of gameplay that they were proud of. The game wasn't about random BS or hoping for a good roll of the dice. It was simple, pure fun. Player agency driven first and forward into the hearts and minds of the players. Each map felt different, unique, and stylized, all of its own, giving the game a good sense of variety. You had wacky weapons that weren't meant to be balanced like the Spartan laser. That thing was annoying as hell to pull off because of the long-ass charge time on it. But if you nailed it, and you got a kill with it, you felt good. You felt powerful. And if you got killed by it, you would cry out in anger and madness, wondering how you can fall for such a trick, or seeing it come from a mile away. And then you set out to find the person who killed you, and then kill them, and then take the weapon. The game itself was inherently cyclical. If someone else got a really good weapon, you can just kill them, pick up the weapon, and then utilize it for yourself. It felt good and felt rewarding to do good in the game. It incentivized you to continue playing, to learn it, get better at it. You had weapons like the Spiker, which were complete dog crap, but they existed as a last resort. Maybe you can find nothing else on the map and you are running low on ammo. You can pick up dual Spikers and just go from there and try your best. The game wasn't afraid to put you in an advantageous or disadvantageous position, and it did that because it messed up. Maybe not messed up, but changed up the flow of gameplay. It made you either want to maintain your position or desperately crawl and scrape to get out of it. You combine that with an art style that has absolutely stood the test of time. It's gorgeous to look at, especially with the touch-ups they made on Master Chief Collection nowadays. On PC, I can get this game running at a really high frame rate with enhanced graphics, and it looks beautiful. And I'd argue it looks even more pretty than a lot of other games that come out in recent times. That's how important art direction is when it comes to a game. I put Halo 3 in the upper echelon of art direction game ever. Straight up. It's that gorgeous to look at. Remember doing the Warthog run at the end of the game? And you just look up into the sky and you can see the entirety of the arc above you, with a planet almost kind of forming in the center. The skyboxes were encapsulating, engrossing, enriching. The sense of scale this game had. Remember on the arc, when the carrier came in and the gust of wind on its entry blew everything away, including the debris and yourself, and it dropped down a few scorpions, and then you would just go on an absolute tear across the sands as the Marine went, tank beats hunter, tank beats everything. It made you feel awesome and feel like a badass. It was rule of cool done correctly. The story itself was pretty dang good. It was very simple. Chief landed on Earth, we spend like half the game getting off of Earth and learning that the Covenant are not only here, but also, well, still here, but also that the Flood come in, like halfway through the game. We then travel to the Ark, track down Truth, kill him, go free Cortana, Johnson dies, we prematurely ejaculate a Halo ring, and the game ends. It's very simple and straightforward, but why is it so beloved? Because simple is good sometimes. It's a badass sci-fi marine romp across epic set pieces, wonderful missions of varied length, and varied types of gameplay. No two missions feel the same. You can have two missions back to back that tackle the same location, but have completely different enemies, encounters, and change up the locations just a little bit. Just enough to where it took me years upon years to realize it was the same location. That's how brilliant the gameplay formula for Halo is. The mobs are cookie cutter, but because of that, you can pair them up in different combinations in different locations with different vehicles and weapons, and suddenly each encounter becomes a bit of a puzzle to solve and break down. Each difficulty a different experience all of its own. It doesn't rely just on increasing damage values or enemy health numbers, it changes the type of mobs you fight. It changes the game itself, because once you change the spawns and the types of enemies you fight, that's an inherently different encounter that you're encountering in a Halo game, and that's what gives Halo such a charm to its difficulty. It's risk-reward. Do you use your power weapon this early on, or save it for something that comes later down the line? It's not afraid to make you feel like you're being overwhelmed or put you in the driver's seat and give you a whole bunch of power to play with and work with. Like, it's not afraid to have a level like the Covenant, where you go from flying hornets to invading buildings, driving a scorpion, while badass rock music blares in the background, to then go into another hornet to take on two scarabs, to then go kill Truth by pairing up with the Flood, with Arbiter at your side. It is rule of cool done correctly, done immaculately well, that the game is just simply a fun time, and it gave you the tools to enable that fun, to enable that engagement. You had Forge mode, so if you wanted to play maps with your buddies, you can make your own playlist, make your own game mode, your own map, stylized and tailor-made to suit your preferences and your unique situations. You had Theater mode, so if you wanted to treat the game as a glorified movie set piece, you can do that. Forge machinimas and videos all of your own, using the formula and the kit in the game to your advantage. Some of the creativity that was on display by the Halo 3 community back in the day is absolutely mind-blowing. Who remembers Arby and the Chief? Who remembers Commander Shepard Plays Halo 3? Matchmaking, Red vs. Blue, Seasons 6, 7, and 8. The game even had a command so that you could lower your weapon, which would be beneficial for making videos so you weren't pointing a gun at each other all the time. You didn't have to add that. No one would have batted an eye if they didn't add that to Halo all those years ago, but they did because they wanted to foster community engagement. Why'd you think people kicked up a little bit of a stink once 343 removed it in later games? It had no benefit to the actual gameplay loop of the game, but it was there to just enhance and reward player creativity for trying to use the game to tell stories of their own. The multiplayer was fun and simple. Remember the challenges? Going for Recon or going for Katana, the stories and legends that formed around those pieces of gear, because they were rewarded to the best of the best. The Vidmaster achievements. Can you put your metal to the test? Do you have the spine to go for these achievements? And if you did, you would be given cosmetic rewards in the game with no microtransaction. Would you look at that? That would signify your mastery of the game or your accomplishment. You could grind rank, unlock cosmetics to customize your Spartan to look how you wanted him to look. You could play as elites if you wanted to. The game was fun and simple because it rewarded player agency. It rewarded you interfacing and interacting with the game. If you were tired of campaign, go play some Forge. Tired of Forge, go play some multiplayer. Tired of multiplayer? Maybe go make a video of your own with theater. Or replay the campaign with whatever combination of skulls that you wanted, or go achievement hunting. It was simple, pure fun, and it represented everything Halo stood for. Player agency, simplistic, sandbox-driven gameplay, epic encounters, epic scale, and beautiful art direction, alongside an incredible, immaculate soundtrack. Halo 3 for me is the peak of the FPS genre. Nothing has come close or near touching its zenith, its peak, at least in my eyes. That is how much I treasure this game. I can go back to it and play it every year and never get bored of it. Halo 3, and I've talked about this in a short before, is my comfort game. It's a game where no matter how bad of a day I'm having or what bad news I receive, I can plop on Halo 3 and just relax and de-stress. Part of that's rooted in nostalgia, but there's nothing wrong with nostalgia. That nostalgia was created for a reason, because Halo 3 encouraged community, creations, interactions, and playing with your friends. And it gave you a suite of materials and accessories and tools to enhance that experience. Same thing with if you wanted to play solo. It's a hopeful tale of humanity's ultimate triumph against an alien force hell-bent on its eradication, alongside the conclusion of Arbiter's arc, which began in Halo 2. Halo 3 is a special game. It is 16 years old, but for me, it could have come out yesterday and still be Game of the Year. And if I had the opportunity to replay any game once over for the first time again, funnily enough, I wouldn't pick Halo 3, because I don't want anything to happen to those memories. Halo 3 is special. I love this game from the bottom of my heart, and that will never change. We may have finished the fight, but we will always continue to give one final effort. Thank you all for tuning in. My pleasure for making the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out and helps support future content, and I greatly appreciate it. Stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Leave a comment down below with your favorite memory from Halo 3. I'd love to hear it. Stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Until we meet again.